Hello, this is Nicole with Angelic Therapy and Healing. I'm bringing you a general reading for the week of Monday, April 23rd through Sunday, April 29th. Welcome, glad to have you here. Thank you to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. Thank you for your comments, your feedback. I really appreciate it. I'm glad that these readings are helping all of you. I know we're all going through a lot of stuff right now, so I'm glad that these are assisting as we all will just work through it. So thank you for all the feedback and comments. For those of you that have made donations, many thanks for that. I do really appreciate it. And hopefully you have enjoyed the new decks of cards that your donations have purchased for us. So let's see here. This week we're going to be having a full moon. It is going to be on Sunday the 29th. And it should be in the evening. I think it's around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But it is a full moon. It's going to be in 9 degrees in Scorpio. So if you have anything within anywhere from 7 to 12 degrees Scorpio, it's probably going to be a little more intense for you, but it's good for if it's going to be intense, because this is a lovely full moon. It's a pink full moon. It is an extremely positive full moon. This full moon is all about success. It's about finally having success after a lot of hard work, and I mean really putting it in, having a lot of determination and not giving up and not quitting, but finally coming to that point of success, of completion. So if you do have anything within that 9 degrees Scorpio point, congrats. It should be a good time by the end of this week that hopefully many of you will be able to wrap up some of the stuff you've been working on wrapping up so that you can proceed forward. And if you don't have anything within there, many, if not all of us, will feel it a little bit. So, because, you know, we've all been going through a number of transitions. So let's go ahead and get started. I've prayed over the cards, shuffled them. I ask that each of you receives at least one message. Please keep in mind, this is for a large number of people, so you might find there's only a couple messages, but you should find at least one. For those of you that are interested in the cards, I am pulling from, what is the name of this deck? Let's see here. Get the book. This is the Tarot of the Nymphs, and then I also have the Osho Zen Tarot, and Trust Your Vibes by Sonia Choquette, and Wisdom of the Hidden Realms by Colette Baron-Reid, the Energy Oracle by Sandra Ann Taylor, Trust Your Vibes, we already covered that, Wisdom of the Hidden Realms, Colette Baron-Reid, and then Doreen Virtue's Angel Therapy, and at the end we will pull an angel answer card. So, lots of cards, lots of images. So spring has finally arrived here in Ohio. Hopefully for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere, you're getting some better weather, starting to enjoy spring. So, we're going to have two situations today. And at the very end, we will come back and we will pull angel answer cards for both. So, if you're listening to it and you find that situation one is totally on point for you, then come back at the end to hear your angel answer card. So, let me see if you guys can see these. Oh, good, we've got room. Let's move them down. And then these are your recommendations. We'll cover those. So, let me see what we've got. Okay. Let's see if they'll stop sticking together. Okay. Excellent. All right. Make sure it's recording. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started here. So we have situation 1, situation 2, and what we're going to be covering is going to be the situation, what has led to this situation, what is blocking you or challenging you at this time, and then what the angels are recommending that you do in order to break free or dislodge the stuck energy. So let's see your overall energy. Okay, is the 4 of Wands, and okay, so okay, we're saying that we're going to go ahead and cover this, which will give you guys some hope as we start going into the details about these. Okay, so everyone in both situations, this is the overall energy, and if you can see that, you've got these two ladies, and they're creating lays, and they have this home, this residence behind them. And in this deck, this card, it's all about, you know, having celebration in the air, because they are preparing lays for a celebration. This is about harmony. It's about happiness. It's also about us never being alone when we are preparing to have dances, celebrations with kindred souls, connected souls. So this is really about coming together with new friends, with new family, or for some, coming together with a relationship. Because if you look at, you know, lays, because you can see they're making lays. If you've ever been to Hawaii, they will greet you, they will welcome you by putting a lei on you. And that is their way. It's the spirit of aloha. And aloha is love. That is, they will extend their love, aloha, by honoring the beauty in you, by presenting you with a lei. And that is showing their affection and their gratitude and their love and appreciation and respect of you. And leis, they have a very rich heritage and history in Hawaii. They go clear back to ancient times. Like, you could tell someone's rank in society based off of the type of flower or the complexity, the details within their lei that they were wearing. They have also been used, and they are still used today, at different key milestones in your life. It can be, they're of course used at weddings, birth ceremonies, celebrations, deaths, rites of passage. And at weddings, they're very significant because, you know, leis, they are kind of like a wedding ring. They're continuous, they're unbroken, they are not ending. They signify unity. They also represent fullness, completeness. So you'll find when there's a wedding ceremony, the bride and groom will exchange leis, but in addition, so will their parents on both sides, because it's a representation of bringing the family together to make a whole unit, which is greater than everyone individually. So there's a lot of heritage, but you see, they are creating leis. They are preparing for a celebration. They are preparing to coming together, creating a family. This is the overall energy. So for many of you, the stuff that you're going through is in preparation of a new relationship, of coming together. For some of you, you will be getting married. But for others, it is a milestone. It is something in your life that is going to be celebrated. Because again, leis are for any type of celebration. And this is your overall energy. So it's a beautiful, beautiful overall energy for everyone this week. Now, for situation 1, we have the 6 of Swords. And hopefully you can see that. You see she's like starting to walk out on this pier. And this is all about the journey that our soul goes through. About, you know, beginning down a path of emotions. And doing so very delicately, very lightly. See how she's kind of like on her tiptoes? She's a little hesitant, but she's moving forward. This is about, you know, although it's a light path, slowly, hesitantly stepping out on it, it is something that is, it's also emotions, an emotional path, but it's something that is very deep. It is something that's inevitable. It is something that is destined to happen. So for many of you, you are leaving behind a very emotional situation. For many of you, a situation that has been unhealthy, a situation that has been toxic. And you're ready to leave. You're ready to move forward. But you see how she's kind of looking toward the future and like hesitantly stepping out, like, can I go? All these swords. A lot of you have like worries and fears. Like, am I ever going to be able to move forward? Am I going to be able to have this? Am I going to receive these things that I desire? Many of you, it's just like, am I finally going to be able to move forward with my life? And if you look here, so see how her hair is flowing all the way down her back. It's like she's got it pinned back. So for many of you, you've had your hair pinned back. You have been putting in the work. You have been trying and working so hard toward this journey, this new beginning, this moving forward. You're not quite there yet, but you're close. Some of you are getting frustrated, but they're saying to not. And what has led to it, you have this Ten of Cups. And this is all about love. It's about a happy family, happy home. It's also about securities, our inner securities, our securities to provide for ourselves and our home, stability. It's about a loving relationship. It's also about, harmonious relationship. You see this couple and they're looking on their children. It's about a relationship where you're focused on and giving your attention to your loved ones. Like, see, he's focused on supporting her. They're focused on their children, focusing on the ones that you love. The Ten of Cups, this is all about fulfillment, happiness, things that bring you joy. And you're ready for that. You're ready for stability. You're ready. Many of you are ready to have a happy home, happy family. Many of you are ready to come into union. Many of you are ready to have a relationship. But for most of you, this thing that's culminating for you to move forward is not this thing that you're walking away from, this thing that's ending. It has to end to have this relationship, this family, this stability that you desire. But for a number of you, this stability, it's not always, because Ten of Cups is not always talking about, a romantic relationship. Ten of Cups is something that's emotionally satisfying, like emotional gratification, something that brings you a feeling of completeness and joy, satisfaction. So for many of you, this thing that's going to be culminating is going to bring you that sense of satisfaction. It's going to bring you also a sense of security, financial security and stability. Why financial? Okay. Yeah, they're saying financial stability. But it's interesting. Because for many of you, you are going to have an ending at the same time that you have a new beginning. Because what you have that's blocking or challenging you, you have these two cards, they're polar opposites of each other. You have the Tower. And in this deck, this is all about, the collapse of erroneous false beliefs and convictions. It's also about, the Tower coming down because of being in situations where there's not a solid foundation. Hence, the Tower just crumbles to the ground. It's also about, diving into the truth, even when it's very difficult and very hard for us to look at those things. And for some, it's also a message that, there's still time to save yourself, because you see this tower, it's engulfed in flames. This tower is going to come crumbling down. It's made of wood. It's not made of stone. It's made of wood. It is going to come down. But these two fairies, they have taken a dive out of the window to leap into the water to escape it. So, for some of you, because this is, I'm getting that it's for many of you, a large number of you, this is like a twofold situation. Many of you, you have some situation with money, finances, career, legal battle that is coming down. then you have this new beginning, this door to spirit. And this card is really all about spiritual awakenings and a new beginning. You see this door's opening up. It's magical. New beginning. But the Tower is an ending. So you are going to have an ending and then go immediately into a new beginning. Now, for many of you, the significance of they're saying like the saving. Okay, so the saving is like a couple parts. So the Tower's coming down. The financial, whatever the financial situation is with you, it's coming down. It's almost over. And when it comes to this, like you've been waiting for a very long time for it to culminate, for it to end, but when it does, it's going to come down fast, very rapidly. And for many of you, it's going to shock you completely because you've been trying so hard to get this to end so you could move forward. And then bam, in days, done. That fast. But to save yourself so that you can proceed forward into this new beginning, because many of you, like, this financial situation is going to end and bam, you're going to be right into a love situation. Polar opposites. Right now, you're totally focused on this ending. But they're going to bring this down. They're going to end this. And then, ma'am, they're going to put you into this love relationship where many of you are going to get into a relationship, move forward with someone that you are going to build a home, a family, a stability, security with. But in order to do that, you see how there's this water that they're diving into? For some of you, you are going to have to dive in and open yourself, open your emotions. Allow this love. And for some of you, this is someone that you know from the past that you are not with at this time. But you will have to, there's going to be some truth exposed for some of you. That truth is going to cause a little bit of emotional turbulence. You see the water flying up. It's going to cause a little bit of emotional turbulence. But then, bam, you get your new beginning. Now, okay, let's do some clarifiers on. Okay, let's move these. We're going to cover these at the end. Okay, let's move these up so where you guys can still see them. Okay. And we'll do those. Okay. So let's okay. So you have the conversation. This is all about friendly conversations, amicable conversations, conversations that go well. You see, they're not fighting. They're not throwing things across the table. She's not throwing her coffee on anyone. It's pleasant. It's a pleasant conversation. And then you have the La Alegría. And this is all about cheerfulness, celebration. But it's celebrations with friends and family. This isn't the love celebration. There is a love celebration card here, but this is with friends and family. So this is, you know, again, they're back to preparing to celebrate something. That's not always a wedding. That could be a, hey, I'm celebrating starting a new business. I'm celebrating retiring. I'm celebrating winning this legal battle. I'm celebrating, you know, for some of you, it's going to be like celebrating breaking business ties. Some of you, college. But it's celebrations. Celebrations. And it's coming with news. You see how this is like a banner. Banners announce something. So there's some announcement, some information that's going to be coming in that's going to cause you to celebrate. And you've really been waiting for that. This is a sospiri. And this is all about longings, desires. It can also be regret, memories, looking back on things. So you've been waiting for your ship to come in. You've been waiting, you've been longing, you've been wanting to move forward. You've been desiring that. But there hasn't been conversations. For many of you, the situation that you're waiting to have end, maybe you're waiting to hear from, you know, your attorney, like, what's the disposition? You know, what's the outcome of this? And you've been waiting, you've been waiting, you've been waiting. But many of you are kind of closed off. Which for some of you, why they're saying this is a dual thing. So for some of you, you're closed off to love. While you're waiting, they need you to prepare and open up your heart so that when the news comes in about this situation, this tower coming down, and you are freed to celebrate and move forward, you are also freed and ready to receive love. Because you see how she's got this hanky and she's got her heart covered. Many of you, there's been a lot of tears and frustration with regards to this situation, this tower that's going to be coming down. But for a large number of you, since it is tied to, because it's divinely timed for a number of you, that this situation that is ending, at the same time, you are going to have this divine love come in. You're not, for many of you, you're not with the person that's coming in. But that's going to be rapid. It's ending, new beginning. Boom, boom. But you have to prepare. You have to open up your heart. Because they're going to say, they're saying that they're going to bring him in fast and furious. So they're going to end this. They're going to free you up financially, free you out of this torment that you have been in. Bam. Then they're going to bring this love of the lifetime in for you. But you have to be ready to receive it because you're not going to have time. So it's not, they're saying it's not like when this tower comes down, oh, you're going to have time to sit and lollygag for 4 or 6 months to get ready for the love bug to come in. They're going to end this, tear this tower down, and bam, bring in this love of yours that fast. You have to be ready for it. And they're saying many of you are. Many of you though, you're getting frustrated that this tower hasn't come down, and many of you are thinking about giving up. They're saying to not give up. You're very close. Now, as far as what has led to the situation, you have the messaggere. This is about news. It's news that comes from a distance. It can be good news. It can be bad news. For many of you, this was news that came in that you weren't very pleased with. You have denari. This is money, finances, investments, inheritance, things that we place great value on. You see, this is a safe, and the door is open to the safe. So these are your valuables that you keep safe. And then you have the pensiero, and this is all about thought, meditation, reflection, considering things, evaluating things. And this is on this 10 of Cups. This card's also, again, about the things that you desire, the happy home, the happy family, the stability, the emotional fulfillment that you desire in every area, having it within sight. Because again, their children are within sight. Having that within sight, being like, okay, I can see it. It's right there on the horizon. I'm able to see the physical manifestation of this. But many of you, you haven't yet seen it manifesting. You haven't seen it coming to an end. For many of you, this legal battle that you're going through, you had received some information, because again, for many of you, it's tied to money. Somehow it's tied to money. Business partnership, investments, new business, separating a business, but it's tied to money, to finances. And you'd received some information, they're saying for some of you in the past 3-4 months, and it was a bit disheartening. And since then, you've not really received any more information. So you've got your pen, you've got your quill here, you've got your scroll, you're ready to write some messages. For some of you, you have written messages, you're trying to get information, you're trying to find out, and you've really been thinking a lot. And many of you are some of you are spinning in your head and your thoughts, they're saying, which is why some of you are thinking about just giving up. They're saying to not give up. Now for what's blocking or challenging you. Oh, okay. So you have the consolante sorpresa. And this is, it's a comforting surprise. It's something that is a partial success, and it's not completely what we want. It's less than what we expected, but it's still partial success. It can also be a surprise that's comforting. And then we have the melancholia. And that's, sadness, heartache, depression, melancholy. And then we have amore. And this would be, you know, a joyous heart, a happy heart, love. It can also be pastime. It can be distraction. You see Cupid has his eyes covered. And this is again on what's blocking and challenging you. You see that this is like death ending. And it's like melancholy, like, you know, see how she's got the same kind of longing look, but it's with a little bit more sadness here. Like here she's got this longing, but like in anticipation, like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to move forward. I can't wait to embark on my journey. I can't wait for this destined beginning, this destined future. I can't wait to have these conversations. So for some of you, this thing's coming to an ending. There's going to be some negotiations with multiple people. You're like, I can't wait to have these conversations so that we can get this done and I can hang the banner. It's over and celebrate with friends and family, or it's time to move forward. It's time to start this business. And yet what's challenging and blocking you is, again, there's some of you got some news. It really wasn't what you were expecting. And you've just been waiting. You've been in kind of like this standstill. You've been waiting for the tower to come down. You've been waiting for the death. You've been waiting for the ending. You're just kind of like, instead of anticipation, excitement, you're like, oh my gosh, is this ever going to be over? And for many of you, that's a challenge, because there needs to be a shift in your perception. Instead of being in a mindset of, you know, oh my gosh, this is horrible, things aren't going well, I'm not getting news, I'm not hearing anything back, nothing's moving forward, and then allowing your deepest fears to rise up and overwhelm you, they're encouraging you to shift your perspective to that of optimism and faith, and knowing that, yes, this is going to work out. It is. You're guaranteed success. You are going to be having a celebration in the immediate future. But to shift your perspective and know that. And for others of you, okay, for a large number of you, because, you know, again, they were saying it's two things. You have this love. So they were saying that you're not with this person, but you're not. But you have this divine love, that when this tower comes down, you're going to be with this person. But many of you right now, you're just not even focused on love. Cupid's got his eyes covered. You're looking down at, oh my gosh, I'm just waiting for this to be over, because the wreath's not on the marker yet. She's not laid it to rest. You have not laid it to rest yet. You're ready to. But in the meantime, there is some stuff that needs to be done to open your heart to prepare for love, because Cupid's going to hit you with that arrow. As soon as you put this wreath down and end this, as soon as this tower comes down. And that's why they were saying for some of you, there's some work that needs to be done to prepare your heart so that you're ready. So that the moment this ends, you put the wreath on, you're going to get hit by an arrow. And it's going to be very rapid. It really is. Ending, beginning. And for some of you, it's being delayed because your heart's not open. You're not ready to receive that. Some of you, it's delayed because of your thoughts, your fears. You're very powerful. Your thoughts are very powerful. So since you are stuck in this mindset of, oh my gosh, this isn't going to work out in my favor, this isn't going to happen, I don't think I can bring this to a close, I don't think I can do this anymore, I just need to just be done with it all, I'm just going to throw in the towel. Because here she's got the towel, she's been soaking up tears, here she's like, oh, just forget it. No, you can't just forget it. This tower is coming down. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. Period. What will help? You have this time to save yourself, is what they're saying. That's to prepare yourself to dive into these emotions, because it's going to be emotionally fulfilling, and it's going to be joyful for you to finally bring this to close. Like when this tower, usually when the tower comes down, when somebody has something rapidly burn up in flames, go down, it's usually a sad thing, but for you, it's not. You've been looking forward to this for a very long time. You're ready to celebrate it, which is why you're totally focused on this death. You're totally focused on your ending. You're like, I don't care about love. I don't care about anything else. I just want this over. Can you just get this over? You're like, that's all I care about. But since you're totally focused on that and in this state of fear and doubt because it has gone on for so long, it will help things if you can shift your perspective. Know that this is going to, it is. Look at you. You need to, instead of stop looking at that, start getting your leis ready. Get out your twine. Go ahead and get yourself some plumerias and some orchids and start tying those up. Get them ready. Get them ready. Get ready. And that's going to also raise your vibration. But focus on your preparations. So focus on getting your sexy back. You know, instead of focusing on the stress of all this stuff, go work out. Focus on your diet. Go out with friends. Go watch a funny movie. Dance. Do a little silly dance in your house. Do something to raise your vibration. My little dogs, you know, my little 3-pounders, they like to dance. And it's funny because when I, meet new people and they discover that my dogs like to dance, they'll pick them up and they'll tell the dogs, let's dance. And their legs are like the size of my pinky. But when you pick them up and say, because I dance with them all the time, and I'll be like, oh, you want to dance? And pick them up and they raise their arms. They're ready to dance. They're ready to hold hands with your fingertip. But it's funny, and it lifts my vibration. It makes me laugh, and it makes them happy too. And then my friends, when they come over, they get a kick out of it. Do something silly. Do something fun. Do something that's just going to make you laugh. Do something that your inner child's going to appreciate. Because you need to get out of this state so that you're ready. Okay, let's move these and see what else the angels are recommending that you do. Okay, I'll leave that out. And the other thing is they're saying that this ending and the new beginning, it is divinely timed. So I know you're tired of hearing divine timing, but it is what it is. Okay, so you have recommendation number 1. This is actually in reverse, but so that you can see the graphics. This is letting go. Now in this deck, this is all about recognizing that something has ended, that something is over. It is finished. It is completed. It is time for you to release all that sadness, all those tears. You see that drop of water? It looks like a teardrop, but it's reversed. It's not done yet. It's not over yet. You haven't been set free to move forward yet. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. It's just not there yet. So what they're encouraging many of you to do at this time is to stop the tears. Because many of you, it's tears of frustration, anger, disappointment. They're saying heartache. Because again, this is something that's very emotional for you. And so for some, people can be married to their career. They can give everything that they have to their career. And then to have that change or shift, or maybe you put everything, blood, sweat, emotions, tears, into starting your own business with a business partner who was corrupt and cheated you and lied to you and stole from you. And it's been very heartbreaking to bring this to an end because you've given everything to it. But they need you to get your vibration raised. This is a blessing. It's a blessing in disguise. So they're trying to, those of you that still have tears or frustration, sadness, to know that this is going to end in your favor. You are very close. God is going to bless you with this ending. Bam, it's done. And then boom, you're right into a new beginning. And for most of you, it's going to be a new beginning in love. Which is the total opposite. What they're saying, it is the total opposite of what you are dealing with at this time to let go of. This isn't talking about letting go of love. This is talking about letting go of, there is this chapter, this thing that must be culminated and ended before you can move forward in love. This isn't love. It's just not over yet. But it will be. So what they're encouraging you to do in the meantime, in addition to releasing the anger and the frustration, the tears and the doubt and the worry, know that it's all going to be fine. They're also encouraging you to, this says exercise your vibes. You see all these, like, this is supposed to be sweat drops, but it's actually, they're also saying tears, because for many of you, it is time to let go of the tears. They're saying the tears are kind of twofold. The tears are the sadness, the frustration, everything with this situation that's going to end. But again, you know how they were saying that you must be ready to open your heart. So some of you have to release things that are keeping you from opening up to love. To do that, you might have to have a good cry. Or you might have to let a past relationships, past experiences that you've had with people or someone in particular, let that go. To just let that go so that your path is clear, so that you're ready to hit the bullseye. And for others of you, because you are so frustrated, what they're encouraging you to do is actually get some exercise. Because what it's going to do is it's going to help release those stresses, because a lot of you, you're spinning in circles in your head, which is why you have a lot of these fears and concerns that it's just not going to work out, and you know, worst case scenarios running in your head, and then you can't think of ideas, and then you can't even get your mind off that, you know, many of you are totally focused on that. You can't even enjoy the little things in life. You need to enjoy the little things in life. You need to have gratitude. But to do that, it requires you to stop spinning your mind. So get some exercise, take a walk. For some of you, go get a baseball bat and just go out and hit some baseballs really hard, because that's also going to help with the frustration. Hit it. Maybe go and hit a punching bag a few times, because that's just going to get that frustration, that anger out of you. And then your mind's going to be clear, and you're going to calm down, and your anxiety is going to be gone. And then you're going to be like, wow, well, it's not so bad after all. I know God's got this. Everything's okay. Because they need you to know that success is imminent. It is in the future. You have the Phoenix. This is resurrection, surrender to change. This is all about rebirth and knowing that success is imminent. You are going to be going, and what does a Phoenix do? You know, Scorpios. Scorpios are the perfect picture of the Phoenix. They're all about death and rebirth. You all, which is interesting that this week of the full moon in Scorpio, you are the Phoenix. You are going to have a complete death, a complete ending, and a complete new beginning all at once. It is going to happen. It is going to be successful. You need to know that. You need to trust that. You need to have faith in that. And you need to have optimism and excitement. Excitement. Some of you need to actually ground that. So what you need to do is every day start saying out loud whatever this new beginning for you is. So if you are going to be starting a new business, you know, everyone, you can say, I am ready for the next phase in my life. I am ready for the next chapter of my life. If you're starting a business, I am ready to start my new business in jewelry making. I am ready to begin my successful business in yoga. Whatever it is, you need to start saying it out loud every day. I am ready for, out loud, because that's going to bring it from the ethers. That's going to bring it from your daydreaming mind and ground it down. You need to say it out loud. I am ready for whatever that is. And since we do have a full moon, it's a good time for release. So any of these fears, frustration, when we get up to that full moon, do a release. I'm releasing my anger and frustration so that I can welcome my new beginning. Write down all the stuff that you're releasing, rip it up and burn it. Because the thing is, this is, you know, this Phoenix is flames. Everything is energy. Energy doesn't go away. It doesn't. All you can do is change it, transmute it. How do we transmute things? With flames, with fire. We burn it up. So you can be in an emotional state one moment of frustration, disappointment, but then God and the angels give you a sign that everything's going to be okay. And all of a sudden, it's transmuted. Those emotions have transmuted to optimism, positivity, faith, knowing this is going to work out in your favor. And then suddenly, you don't have as many roadblocks. Suddenly, you're getting a little bit of communication. Suddenly, you're able to continue moving forward and not quitting, because that's what they need you to do. Archangel Michael, he knows you're getting tired. He knows you're worn out. You're close. Let him help. At the bottom it says, you're working very closely with this powerful archangel who's protecting and guiding you through this situation. He is working with you to give you the courage that you need, the strength that you need, for some of you, a backbone that you need, and the ability to move forward fearlessly and take action. Because although for many of you, you've been taking for an action for a while, you're kind of like worn out. There's like this final surge, this final push. There's this final thing that you need to do this week. And Archangel Michael's going to help you have the courage to do that. Now, let's see, he wants me to, I guess there's a prayer in this book. Let's find it. Well, there is a prayer. Okay, so there's a prayer that goes with this card. Archangel Michael, I call upon you now. Please lend me your sword and shield of peace and allow me to lean upon your strength and courage. Help me to know and feel that I am safe, protected, emotionally, physically, financially, energetically, and spiritually. Thank you. Okay, so hopefully that helped. Again, come back no, we're not done. We're not done, Lexi. No, we have another one. So at the end, come back for your angel answer card. Okay, situation 2. No, we're not done. See, she knows she's going to get to have dinner as soon as we wrap this up. So apologies for her excitement. Okay, situation 2. Hello. Okay, so apologies for that. Apparently, Lexi and Allie were not going to wait for their dinner. They were hungry and they decided to run into the tripod and knock the camera down. So they have now been fed, so they should be happy girls. And let's go ahead and pick up where we left off. We were in situation 2. Okay. Now they're both happily in the chair. Okay. So they're saying we have 2 8s. Well, I guess we do. We have this 8. We also have this 8. So 8s are all about understanding boundaries. Let me make sure this is recording. Okay, good. So 8s are all about, boundaries, understanding boundaries, setting our boundaries. Multiple 8s in a reading can be, okay, in this instance, they are a sign that positive changes are taking place. And these positive changes are because you are in a state of having spiritually led luck and abundance and blessings. It's also letting you know that you are on track and you are about to reach a very significant goal, an outcome that you have been desiring. So again, it is coming back to both sides, whether you're situation 1 or you're situation 2, where you are about to receive you're about to receive blessings. The things that you've been working very hard for. Now, for those of you in this situation, you start off with the Devil card. And this is all about, knowing your limit, knowing the difference between irresistible attraction and slavery of the mind. Because sometimes we can allow ourselves to be controlled by our animalistic instincts. But in order to overcome that, you must discover it by confronting the hidden allure of the instinct, the instinctual action, the behaviors, and recognize them as, what's good for you, what's not good for you, in order to prevent these things from imprisoning you. So for some of you, it could be a sexual addiction. You could be with multiple partners, or throughout the years, you've been with many partners and non-committal. be it because you were fearful of commitment, you've been hurt, but you have just allowed these sexual interests, these sexual drives to pull you in, because you see he's here and he's looking at these two ladies. So for many of you, that is what you have been involved in. You have been in relationships, short-term relationships. Even some of you, they're saying, even some of you may have been in relationships that were a little bit longer. You know, it could have been a year, 2 years, but you were non-committal. You were into the relationship because of how it made you feel, how it sexually made you feel, how it made you look, how it made you appear to others. But it wasn't founded on love. And for some, you've been in various multiple relationships just to fulfill sexual desires. Like, hey, this looks good, this feels good, why not? But whatever it is, many of you, it is relationships because you're no longer satisfied with those type of relationships. See how he's, you know, typically the devil like really wants, you know, sex, pornography, drugs, all these vices. You know, that's what he's all about. These lower vibrational vices, that's what keeps him going. But he's kind of looking disgusted. I don't know if you can see that. He's kind of like looking like, ugh. And that's where some of you are. Okay, that's where they're saying, that's where those of you that are in situation 2, that's where you're at. You have had multiple relationships, affairs, you have done things, you have behaved in ways that you are not proud of. You have led a lifestyle that works for you. It has worked for you up to this point, but it doesn't work for you any longer. You want something more. These types of relationships, these types of people, these types of activities, although they gave you pleasure in the past, be it short-lived pleasure, it hasn't fulfilled you more than just your basic urges, your basic desires. But the next day you felt empty, like, okay, it's not really doing it for me. And even for those of you that they're saying that you have even been in some relationships, but you haven't committed to the relationships, you haven't opened to the relationships because they're built on sex, they're built on, like they're empty, they're lacking the thing that you desire. And for many of you, it's because it's a relationship that as you've started to grow and evolve, because for most of you that you are going down a spiritual path, so as you've started to grow and evolve, although you jumped into a relationship based off the way you typically would pick relationships, like, oh, she looks good, you know, oh, you know, we look good together, but it didn't have deeper meaning. But in the past, it didn't bother you. They're saying for some of you, you don't like to be alone. So that's why for many of you, you've constantly had, you know, a revolving door of women or men, because you don't like to be alone. But you haven't been with these people for any actual deep, meaningful reason. It's just a warm body. It's another person just to keep you company, hold a place, go out with you, look good on your Facebook, your Twitter page, whatever. But hasn't held meaning. And now you're desiring something with more meaning. Because what has led to that situation, you have the Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups, this is a beautiful card of like celebration. It's about, you know, the wonder of being alive and staying together. It's also being joyful and filled with our emotions, and joyful about our emotions, like opening up emotionally. It's about celebration. Now, for some of you, they're saying that overindulgence, because you see, these are 3 women. This isn't a couple and a family member celebrating a marriage, a union. This isn't just a group of people celebrating some milestone in life. This is 3 women. So for some, what has led to the situation is you have had an overindulgence of partners. There's been cheating, infidelity. But this overindulgence has negatively affected you. For some, this is, you know, shirking your responsibilities, making irrational choices. So, maybe you jump into a relationship because maybe you didn't want to be alone, or maybe that's what you've always done. You've jumped from one to another to another. And now you're like, I keep picking the wrong one. I keep picking the wrong type. And, in an effort to not be alone, or an effort to fulfill some urge, some desire, an effort to fill some void, you have superficially been in these relationships, be it multiple relationships at one time simultaneously, or just going from one to the next to the next. Or even if not in relationships, it could be short-lived flings. But you've been doing that to fill this void because you want that. You want connection with someone. But it's sucking the joy out of you. It's not fulfilling. He's not happy. He looks kind of disgusted with it. Like, I don't want this anymore. I feel dirty. I feel like this is wrong. I want more now. Disheartened. So what do you do now? Because you want to move forward, you want more, but you're blocked because the first card that you have is the Eight of Swords. And that's all about feeling helpless, feeling as though we are enduring ongoing suffering because of these obstacles, but they're destined obstacles. So you are having nonstop obstacles. They are divinely orchestrated. And although you are feeling blocked, you're feeling blocked in life, you're feeling blocked like you can't get these things that you desire, it's because these experiences are helping you face and deal with the difficulties and to deal with life. So for some, say you jumped into another relationship and you're like, oh my gosh, this one's not working out. And maybe you're that person that doesn't want to be alone. And you're like, okay, well, I'll maybe I'll narrow it down from 3. Maybe I'll narrow it down to 2. Maybe I'll bop back and forth between 2. But then now you're like, okay, I'm not happy with either one. And I'm not fulfilled. This just isn't working for me. But I don't understand. Like, why can't I get this to work? Why? And there's been a lot of difficulties and hurdles in other areas of life as well. It just feels like things they're not jiving. They're not coming together. It's because they're not meant to. It's because they're trying to steer you off this course. They're trying to get you off that path because that is not a good path for you. They're trying to get you to see that. They're also trying to get you to deal with that. To bring things back in balance. You see how she's got the scales? For some of you, this is a karmic thing to balance the scales. But for some of you, there's some truth. There's some truth that needs to be seen. There's some truth that needs to be shared. Many of you see how this is the temple path and she's got her back turned to the temple path. So many of you are going through a spiritual awakening, which is why this just instant animalistic sexual gratification, multiple partners, no commitment, nothing of a firm foundation, it's worked for so long for you. It has. And you were like, why mess with something that's not broken? But now it's broken for you because now you're ascending, you're awakening, you are becoming a deeper. You need more deep. You need more depth. You're needing something with more meaning. You're also looking at, some of you, they're saying that you're looking at your life and you're evaluating it. And you're asking yourself, what meaning does my life hold? What will be my legacy? What's the legacy that I'm going to leave behind me? And you're not liking what you're seeing. But to rise into that and to leave the legacy that you desire, it does require some changes. And you've turned your back on those changes because you're like, well, I don't know if I can do that. I don't know if that's going to work. Some of you have turned your back on it because you're afraid of what people will think, what people will say. Some of it's because you don't feel good about the things that you've done or said. Some of you are very hard on yourselves. But they're trying to get you out of this looping circle. But these trials, these tribulations, these things that you've been going through, they cannot and will not be avoided. They are absolutely 100% necessary for your growth. So if you have a relationship with someone that you've been trying to make work, it's not intended to work. It's not going to work. And they're saying that you know that. They're saying for many of you, you even know the path that you should be going on, going toward. You're just not doing it. They're saying that you know you are deserving of it. You know that that's a path that they're guiding you onto, but you're not doing anything to change. You're not doing anything to go down that path, that destiny of yours. Because this card, the Temple Path, it's all about a spiritual purpose, destiny, also having spiritual divine support. You have a beautiful path that's going to lead to happiness, which is what you're desiring. That's what you're looking for. That's why you for many of you, you don't want to be alone. You want fulfillment. You want something you can count on. You want, because they're saying for almost all of you, this is about love. It's about a relationship. You're wanting a solid foundation. You're wanting someone that you can build something solid with. You're wanting someone that you can build a legacy with. They're trying to get you to that person. They're trying to get you in that direction. And the things that you're going through at this time are intended to get you there. But you need to keep in mind, they're saying that the choices that you're making today, that you are making right now, are vital for this growth, for these life lessons, for these karmic cycles to end. Like, there's some things that some of you need to end. And these choices are imperative for your future. And they're saying that if you make the choices that are of a higher vibration, that are coming from a place of higher intentions, versus, okay, I'm just going to jump in and do this because it's just sexually going to make me feel good. I'm going to pull out some whips and chains, have some S&M. It's just going to feel good. So maybe you go in circles, you keep going back to someone just because the sex is good. Or maybe you repeatedly keep playing this cycle with someone or multiple people. But you know it's not good for you. You don't feel good about it. The decisions are not being made from a place of high intentions, from a place of what's best for me. So if you start now, because the challenge is you have not been making the best decisions for you. You have not been making decisions that are from a high moral ground, from a high place of intention, a place of high vibration, coming from a place of making a decision that's best for you and everyone else. Your decisions have been based from this lower vibrational state of, I'm going to do whatever just because it feels good right now. I don't care about the consequences. I don't care who's hurt. I don't give a damn about the consequences. I'm going to do what I want right now because it just feels good right now. It has worked. It doesn't work anymore. But what's blocking you is this time has come for you to stop making decisions from that lower vibrational place, because you are better than that now. You have grown. You've evolved. You want to move forward. You want this illuminated path. You want this blessed path. But to have that, you have got to start making better decisions, the decisions that are for your best, for your highest good. Because if you start now making those better decisions, making those changes, culminating, finishing those lessons, those things that you need to let go of, that you need to change, if you do that now, you will find that your life will immediately improve. It's going to improve drastically. And you're going to find that all these headaches and delays and problems and obstacles will cease, and you'll move forward rapidly. You have these obstacles because they are getting you off the wrong path. You have been on the wrong path. They will give you one hurdle after another, after another, after another, until you get off this path of destruction and you get onto the path that is best for you, filled with enlightenment. Many of you are actually going to be like enlightening and being a spiritual teacher, guide, mentor for others. But if decisions keep being made from here, if you kind of look at it, you know, in all the cartoons, they always have like the devil on one shoulder and the angel on the other. And so, you know, you've got the devil whispering, do it, just do it, go for it. And then you've got the angel in the other ear whispering, no, don't do that. That's not good for you. You keep listening to the devil. You've been listening to the devil for years. It's not working out so good. And now you have nonstop obstacles, headaches, struggles, strife, trials, tribulations. You're just like, oh my gosh, when will this ever end? It will end when you start listening to the angel on the other shoulder, who's trying to get you to make decisions that are going to be better for you. And they're saying it's not like they're trying to get you to do something that you don't want to do. We have free will. This has been the path that's worked for you up to this point. It doesn't work for you any longer at this time. You know that. They know that. That's why you have obstacles and stuff, because they're trying to help you get the things that you desire. But to get that, it does require making different choices. Now, I'm going to move these real quick. We'll pull some clarifiers on these, and then we'll cover what the angels are recommending you do. Okay. So on the devil, we have La Superbia. This is haughtiness, vanity, pride, arrogance, being ostentatious, very, showy, impressive. I just like that. I want everybody to look at me. Look at Peacock. Just look at me, shake it, look at all my colors. And then we have the Grand Consolation, the Great Consolation. And this is all about, finally having some gratification after a really long time. And then we have the La Grazia. And this is all about lightness, tact. It can also be frivolous behavior, doing something that is not serious. It can, be irritability. Sometimes it can be unwanted pregnancy, but see butterflies pollinating flowers. Two women, two choices, two ways of being, two ways of doing, two paths. Path that is best for you, path that is not best for you. Interestingly, he's caught between these two. In the past, you have chosen partners, relationships based off of arrogance, to impress other people because it made you feel good, to show off how it will look. But then you've also been in relationships or partnerships or one-night stands or whatever that you weren't serious about them. There was no commitment. It was just kind of like, I'm just going to enjoy it for a little while. But now look at this. Now he's sitting there, a lump on a log. He's got money. He's got royalty in his mind. He's got marriage, commitment in his mind. And that's where you're at. So now you want those things. You want commitment. You want something you can value. You want to build something. They kept saying over and over, many of you are wanting to now build a legacy. They're saying for some of you, you look at your friends and, they're married, they've got business, they've got family, they've got these things, and you're evaluating your life, and you're like, well, I've had a lot of good-looking ladies or fellas, but I'm just not happy with any of it. It's not fulfilling. I want this. I want to build something that's rooted, solidly rooted. But all I've ever had is just, these superficial relationships. And many of which weren't even serious. They were just kind of like dating. And when I did date, well, okay, I dated, but I wasn't committed to her. Dating her, but just really doing it because, she looks good. She looks good on paper. She looks good physically. But I don't want either of these anymore. Because notice, these aren't the lovers. There's no love in this. Like, where's our Lamante? It's not love. Let's see here. Where's one? They're both titled the same, but one's the female lover, one's the male lover. Here we go. It's not the lover. Design these relationships for love. You don't have the female lover on in here. It's not, these aren't built on love. The actions, things that you have been doing, for some, this does represent the types of relationships. Being with people because of showing off, impressive, arrogant stuff. Being in one-night stands, short-term things because you're non-committal. But you don't like to be alone. But for others, it's also types of behaviors, like things that have been done with arrogance, inconsiderate, maybe for some of you were in relationships where you made people think that it was something more, and it wasn't. To you, it's just an enjoyable hangout, be intimate. They may have thought it was something more, but it wasn't serious. Some of you are saying that now you regret someone that you're not with. You're not even talking to the person. You're showing like thoughts that are in your head. And now you realize that that person, you weren't taking them seriously. That it was just you, just some lighthearted fun. And now you're realizing, oh crap, that was the one. I went from these 3 women, I booted out the one that, holy crap, now I'm realizing she's the one. And these other 2, I'm just with the one because of pride. I'm not going to give up, or she's not going to, or, oh, you know, she looks good, or she thinks I look good. So we're just going to be in this relationship again, not founded on love. It's founded on arrogance. Vanity. What can you offer me? Can you provide for me financially? Okay, well, I'll hang out with you. Some of you even married the person for it. But it was founded on money, finances. So that could be one of the ladies. For some of you, there's a second lady, and that's just fun, sexual fun, traveling, enjoying. Because this is like a beach scene. Maybe you travel to the beach and you just enjoy hanging out and having sex. But it's not anything you're going to commit to. I think you're going to have fun with. And now you realize, well, crap. I got rid of the one that now I realize, oh, that's the one that actually there was some love. I could have actually built something with, and damn, she's not going to want anything to do with me now. But they're going to help you. Because again, you're guaranteed success. And you will get there. There's just some things. They're saying you already even know the things that you need to do. You've just not done them. Okay. You haven't done that because you're not capable of doing it. You just haven't done it because you're fearful. So on the, what has led to the situation, you have Bambino. Could be child. But this is new beginning, a short-lived, a small beginning. And then you have the Dottore. And this is a professional. This could be a doctor, an attorney. It could be anyone that's got a degree, anyone that's educated, anyone that can assist you, provide counseling. Then you have the Vedovo, and this is the widower. This is the lonely, sad man who is stuck and bound to his past, who cannot move on. So, for some of you, what led to this situation? There's a couple things. So for some, you know, they were saying that there was 3 women and now there's 2 women. The one you got rid of, who was the one you could have built a foundation with, you had a new beginning with her. But you let her go because there was someone else that you were helping. There was someone that you were assisting. So it could be someone that was having health problems. Maybe one of the women was having health problems and she was sick, or she made you feel like, you know, I need your help, I need your assistance. So, but they're saying like you jumped into it for a romantic reason. So this isn't just, you know, you left a relationship that could have been something you could have built upon to go help an uncle. This is you helped one of these female lovers that you were with. But it's like this cyclical thing that you would do to go and help her. But you had one short new beginning, could have been a blessed new beginning, could have built something, but you pushed her away. You let that go so that you could go be with someone else. The reason that, again, you went to be with the other person, this is not a love card. You didn't go be with the other party for true love. You went to be with the other party because they needed your help. So for some of you, this could be the lost superbia person. This could be the person that you're just together for finances. And you thought you were going to be together for something more, and it ended. Over, dead. And you see that. And for some of you, this is, there's a person that you have a cycle with where it has been a new beginning. It's because that person needs help, and then it always ends with heartache for you because you have been in that cycle. Because again, this card, remember again, the meaning can be, you know, the wonder of staying together, keeping a relationship together. So for some of you, you've had a relationship that you've tried to keep together for years. You've tried from a very genuine place. You really have. And you've gone in circles with this person. Now, they're saying, some of you, this relationship, there's been a lot of infidelity. They've not been faithful. You have not been faithful. It's been a relationship of convenience. And again, what can you do for me? La superbia, not love. What are you going to do for me? How are you going to make me look? Vanity, pride, being ostentatious. And that's serious because we got a whole bunch of other players in this game. But they're saying for most of you, you wanted something more to come of this. You were hoping there could be something built. But it was never just the two of you. There were always other players. There have always been they're like saying since you first dated. But every time you'd go back, you'd have this new start, new beginning. It was always founded on, they're saying for most of you, because you were providing help to her or him. Because they needed monetary help. They needed financial help. They needed medical help. But it was always because, I need your help. Come help me. And so you would go to the rescue and help thinking, oh my gosh, it's going to work this time. It's going to be love. We're going to make this work out. So you'll always come to their beck and call. And for some of you, they're saying that you really kind of like being at their beck and call because it made you feel good about yourself. I am making a difference. But it was really, you were chained to the devil. It was really just a toxic relationship because it was a continuous cycle where, okay, you'd go back and then once they got the help and you were thinking, okay, great, this is gonna move forward now. I'm gonna have somebody to build a legacy with. Then it would be ended and you'd be out on the cold on your own. Then you'd jump into a relationship with someone else or multiple people, and again, you'd get called back over and over and over and over. But they're congratulating you because for majority of you, you have finally ended that crap. It's finally over. They said it's about time. They have been waiting a very long time for you to let that toxic relationship go. They're saying it surpassed its expiration date years ago. Congratulations. You have finally freed yourself. But again, this is the widower who's all sad, all lonely, can't let go of his past. And for some, that's why you haven't truly opened up to another relationship. Because this person that has hurt you in the past, you have stayed in this vicious cycle. But now you're ready. Now you're ready for some change. You're ready for change. You want some change. But you're blocked from change. Why are you blocked? Because you're blocking yourself. Okay. So you have the sacerdote. This is the priest. This is the man of faith. And this is the psychologist, the spiritual teacher, the spiritual guide. Then you have the prisoner, prigione. This is all about imprisonment, being in prison, being, This is self-imprisonment, though. You see, the chains aren't actually hooked to him. I don't know if you can see that. They're not actually hooked to his hand. It's actually just going around the wall, hooked to the side of the wall. The chains aren't on his hands. He doesn't have them attached to his feet. There's no cuff on his feet. And at any point, he can get up. He's the only one keeping himself stuck. He's sitting here looking all down, sad. At any point, he can get up and walk out. Nothing is holding him there except for himself. This card is about self-imprisonment. It's about the inability to act because we refuse to take any action. Self-constraint. And then we have the Grand Signore. And this is the Lord, the man of high society. Because for some of you, again, there's some relationship that you've held on to for way too long just because it made you feel good. It made you puff out your chest. I'm going to take care of her. This is going to work. It looks good. We look good together. But it wasn't love. There was no love in it. But this is also the King of Hearts, the rich protector, which is why for many of you, you kept being called in for financial help or assistance. But it's also the great gentleman. And these three cards fall on what is blocking you? What is challenging you? Why aren't you releasing this? Why aren't you making decisions based off of higher intentions, things for your highest good, so you can finally watch your life turn around, so you can finally watch your life change and become this magical life that you've been desiring? Why? So they're saying you're ready. You want change. You're ready. Because again, he's looking at this with disgust. He's not looking at it with excitement, like, ooh, I can't wait to jump in there with them and have a threesome. I can't wait to do this. He's like, I don't want this. I don't want this. Some of you are angry with the things that you've done. He's like gripping the grass on the two sides. For some of you, it has taken time for you to get to the points because, they're saying for some of you, this one person who kept pulling you in cycles was pulling you in for sexual reasons. And so it has taken time, and you may even be near the end of resisting the urge to jump back in bed with her. Because that's how she pulls you in to get your assistance, and then she ends it and it's over. It has taken a lot for you to finally squash those sexual desires. Because, again, this card is all about those sexual desires being used against you to enslave you. So for some, you have been in a toxic relationship where you have been enslaved because it's like she knew, hey, sex will pull them in. That's all it takes. Then I get what I need and then I can be done for a while. So for those of you that have had to overcome those urges, because that's what has pulled you in repeatedly, most of you have been successful. And they're congratulating you because that is what you needed to do. Because again, this is all about overcoming that, knowing your limits, not succumbing to those lower vibrational, not succumbing to those vices. Because you're only going to find fulfillment, true pleasure, true freedom when you stop the animalistic behaviors, when you stop giving into these urges and desires and vices of yours. Once you stop that, then things will change. And for many of you, you are at the point where you have stopped it, you're about to stop it, but either way, whether you've completely stopped it or you're just within days of stopping that, ending it, you're like, okay, but what do I do? Where do I go from here? How do I move forward? The thing that's challenging you from moving forward, that's blocking you, you have the sacerdote. So you have been going through an ascension. You have been growing. You have been evolving. You are the man of faith. Many of you, how they were saying earlier, you are going to be a spiritual teacher, a spiritual leader. You are going to be assisting many other people. Now, to get to that point, you see how there's this tree and there was this tree over here? They're saying, for many of you, this is going to involve taking your relationships from being monetarily focused, because see, he's facing the opposite direction. Money tree. They're saying for some of you, you've been a money tree for someone. It's taking it from having relationships focused on materialistic things, money, what it can gain for you or them, to having relationships that are built on emotion, true connection. It involves removing the cover, removing the cloak, truly opening up and sharing yourself. Because most of you that have been in these relationships, you haven't opened up emotionally. You've been guarded, you've been cloaked. But it also involves sharing secrets. For a number of you, there are things that you have not revealed, that you have kept hidden, and you're fearful of sharing those things, which is why you are immobilized. You are not taking any action. You could indeed be the King of Hearts. For many of you, they're saying you are an amazing gentleman. You need to stop beating yourself up. We all make mistakes. We all do things. I mean, that's why we come here to Earth. That's how we grow and develop. It's a beautiful thing that you have grown, that you're ready for that next level. That's what we come here to do. It's interesting. If you look back, all of us do things we're not ashamed of. Like, even if you look at, preachers, priests, regardless of the religion. When I was enlisted, I was a chaplain's assistant for a number of years. And, people have this vision that, spiritual leaders, men of faith, you are a man of faith, that they have this holier than thou life, and, they can do no wrong. But they're normal people. They curse just like everyone else. And if you hear any of their personal stories, which you will oftentimes find, is that, what led them to God, what led them to changing their life, is that they just hit an all-time low. They realized life wasn't holding meaning. Maybe they were going from prostitute to prostitute, or some of them, they do have stories where, they had alcohol addictions, drug addictions. They were at an all-time low. I've heard stories where they ended up being put in jail. They did real true jail time. But it was at that point of their all-time low that they dropped to their knees. And they found their way back to God. They found their way back to making those higher level choices, those intentions. They were like, this doesn't work for me anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not proud of myself. I'm not proud of what I've done. And they changed. That's where you are at. You're not proud. You want to change, and that's good. Everyone does that. You need to stop beating yourself up. That's the problem. They're saying many of you are so fearful of how you're going to be viewed. You're so fearful that, okay, well, once I do take this cloak, once I do share these truths, once I share these secrets, once I share what I have done in the past, the things I've desired, the things that I've done, the things I haven't done, once I share that, once I open up to that, they're just not going to look at me the same way. They're going to think I'm less than. But that's not the case. You are magnificent. You are the man of high society. You are the King of Hearts. You are the great gentleman. You are. You need to remember that. You need to not beat yourself up. Because everyone, again, goes through growth. Now, we're going to cover what the angels are recommending you do. And then we're going to pull an angel answer card. Let's move. They're fine. Okay. And a lot of you are having some serious difficulties. You really keep beating yourselves up. It's time to stop beating yourself up. It's time to start patting yourself on the back for how far you've come. It's time to start being proud of how far you've come, because for a number of you, it's been very difficult for you to cut the ties with this person. Some of you, it wasn't just a person. Some of you, there was alcoholism involved, drinking. It took a lot for you to break free of that. Be proud of yourself. Instead of looking at it as though it's something to be ashamed of, like, oh, if people hear that, I kept getting lured in just for a little booty and got played a fool and lost thousands of dollars and wasted 20 years of my life. Oh my gosh, they're just going to think, oh, what is wrong with me? Instead of looking at it like that, look at it as a way to encourage other people that, hey, If you meet somebody, maybe they lost thousands of dollars, and maybe they were played, maybe they were taken advantage of and not appreciated, and you can let them know that's okay. You may have lost money, because for a number of you, you did lose a big chunk of money. But you can share that as a story of inspiration with someone, that it's okay. You're going to bounce back. You will bounce back. You are going to receive blessings. Everything's going to turn around. You can be a testament to that. Because you can't provide hope for people if your life has been amazing. So remember that. You've had to go through the shit so you can have the ability to have empathy and connection with others. Because again, you are a spirit. Many of you are a spiritual leader, a guider. You're going to provide guidance. You're going to assist others. You're going to give them hope by sharing your story that, hey, I went through some really bad stuff. I made some really bad choices. But look at how amazing my life is now. And you're going to get there too. So don't beat yourself up. This was meant to happen. Again, it's divinely orchestrated. It's meant to happen because you're going to use that to encourage other people. And you need not worry about how people are going to look at you. Because again, they're saying, remember that like a lot of our religious spiritual leaders, they came from some real low places. Most do. Because again, you have to go through those hardships so that you can be a beacon of light for others. You are a beacon of light for others. Be that beacon. You do need to stop beating yourself up. That would be a good thing. Because for many of you, you see this. Okay, good. Well, it's fairly close. But the angels are recommending, the first card that you have is morality. And this card, it's, the dried up, old prune. Someone that's really stuck in their mind. You see, like, it's supposed to be like this face is all squished through there. But again, there's no shackles. There's no chains. Here's another prison card. You have kept yourself in prison for far too long. It is time for you to break free. They're saying that you know that. Why are you keeping yourself stuck? Now, this is talking about someone that's stuck in their mind. You see all these clouds. This is about someone that just constantly, so many of you are just thinking black and white. It's this way or it's that way. It's moral, it's immoral. It's good, it's evil. You are very judgmental. You are very critical. And some of you think that everyone else is. So you're thinking, oh my gosh, these things I've done in the past, they're wrong, they're bad, they're messed up, but they're not. Again, for most of you, they're stepping stones so that you can move forward and then step in, because some of you will be changing careers at some point. You're going to be using that to write books or start companies or coaching businesses where you're going to use your story to empower others, to give them faith, to give them hope, to give them encouragement. So stop looking at it like, oh, I'm in prison. Everyone's just going to be against me. They're going to think I screwed up. They're going to think I have no ethics. I have no morals. I have no scruples. I can't be faithful. I'm a dirty dog. No one's going to think that. You're the only one that's thinking that. There's no shackles. There's no shackles. You are the only one that's thinking that. Everyone else is going to be amazed and glorified by the things that you have overcome, by the successes that you've had. Shift your perspective. Some of you, this is also, it's conditional thinking. It is time that you break these chains of conditional thinking so that you can finally see the truth to things, so that you can finally enjoy life, so you can finally move forward in life. They're trying to help you move forward, but you are the one that's keeping yourself imprisoned. I mean, it's in here 3 times. We have the prison wave, and hopefully you can see that close. See? He's like, lean down, look in this direction. The sunlight is behind him. He's in another prison cell. You are in a prison cell because you are self-sabotaging. You have these beliefs that are keeping you from moving forward, that are keeping you from moving in the direction of your highest good, that are keeping you from having these blessings and these gifts and these things coming in. This says self-sabotage, poverty, consciousness. So for many of you, because you feel as though you aren't worthy, And many of you are thinking thoughts, I can't do this. I'm not capable of this. I'm not worthy. I'm a failure. What if I try this and I fail again? Because I just fail all the time. I can't do anything right. I don't deserve these blessings. I've just been a mess my whole life. God's not going to bless me with these things. How can I tell people that, I'm on this spiritual path and I can help them when I've done all these things in the past and I've just messed up? No one's going to love me. I'm unlovable. Those are just your thoughts. You are keeping yourself locked in a prison. No one else is. You can get out of this prison, but you're allowing fear to keep you trapped. Some of you, cynicism, distrust, worry, doubts. You are the only person keeping you stuck. They're saying you have got to finally see that. All he needs to do is turn around. And this is like even his step stool, this bench. Turn around, stand up on the stool, walk right out into the daylight. It's all you need to do. You are keeping yourself stuck. Why are you keeping yourself stuck? They need you to finally free yourself. You have Sun Dancers. It says joyful activity, celebration of life, abundance. Card number 32. This really is all about, positivity, optimism, because you see like she's dancing and all this light, and she's drawing more light to her. By being positive and optimistic, you become a magnet. You will pull in the blessings and the things that you desire. You really will. If you can be positive, you can know that this is going to happen. You can envision this is going to happen. You are able to actually create the reality you want. You're able to create the things that you desire. You're able to have these blessings that you've been praying for finally come in. You want them. Let them come in. Stop allowing yourself to be trapped. And many of you are trapped. What they're encouraging you to do, in addition to not imprisoning yourself, start to be optimistic. Things are going to work out beautifully. Beautifully. You are guaranteed success. You're the only one doubting yourself. No one else is. Everyone else is thinking, dang, he's the grand signore. He's amazing. Why have you forgotten? Why have you forgotten that? Who made you forget that? They're saying for some of you, someone made you forget that. You need to write them a forgiveness letter. Okay. So clear yourself. It's tied to that. At the bottom it says, ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed. So there's some cords and things that need to be cut. A number of you can ask Archangel Michael to come in and cut the cords for you. What they're saying is for a large number of you, you need to write some forgiveness letters. Now, if you've got a relationship, you've been going in circles, you've got a relationship that you just ended, you're about to end, you need to write a letter to that person. And in that letter, put down all of your feelings, good, bad, put everything in the letter. And then at the end of the letter, your last paragraph is going to be, I want to thank you for the gifts you gave me to make me into the magnificent man I am. I love you, and I apologize for not accepting you exactly as you were and your decisions in our relationship. I finally release you. And you sign your name. And then in all these letters, you're going to go through this process where you're going to pray, you're going to ask God and the angels that they're going to help you release this person, release all the emotions, release everything tied to that has kept you stuck so that you're able to move forward. You will read it out loud. You are not going to give it to the person. And then when you are done reading it, you will rip it. What the ripping signifies is you breaking the cords with that person, freeing yourself, clearing that energy. Once you're done ripping it, you're going to burn it. Because if you listen to situation 1, energy never goes away. All that can happen to energy is transmuted. So if you're in this relationship with someone who's toxic and now you finally come to the realization that they were just using you and playing you the whole time, there's probably a lot of anger. You're probably really pissed off. But you want love. You want to build a legacy. You're going to build a legacy with someone because you're a magnificent. You just forgot that because someone was helping you learn a lesson. Because we choose these relationships, and for many of you, it was a relationship that you were in, but that was to help you step into your power. That was to help you step into your magnificence. That was also to give you this story of the survivor and warrior that you are, so that you can share with others to help them overcome their own struggles. But because of that, there's this anger, there's this heartbreak, there's this frustration. Well, you can't open up to this divine love that's coming your way, because for some of you, you're about to move into a new relationship. You're going to get married. And they're saying a new relationships. For some of you, it may be an old person. Maybe this, they were talking earlier, there's someone that you got rid of. But that was the one. But in order to open up to this love, to this divine love, this blessed love that's going to actually fulfill you, you have to release those feelings of anger and frustration. Those emotions, they're not going to just disappear. You have to transmute them. You have to change that energy. The way you change energies is you burn it up. Flames, when they're always talking about the violet flame, twin flames, God's flame, God's fire, God's flame of creation. It is flame, it is fire, it will transmute it. So when you have read it, you will rip it to cut the ties, and then you are going to burn it so you can change that energy, so that anger and everything's gone. So you're able to open up. Because again, remember what was blocking you? The sacerdote, the priest came up. What's blocking you is you're not opening up you're not sharing your emotions. Some of you haven't honestly shared with people, they're saying for some multiple people, how you feel. You've been closed up. Well, you're going to need to open up. This person that's caused you to be closed up, when you burn that letter, that's going to release those emotions. And then the last thing that you're going to do is you're going to go outside and you're going to dump those ashes all in the ground. Because that's finally letting it go. Boom, I'm finished. Now the other letter you're going to write is you're going to write a letter to anyone that you have been intimate with. So guys, anyone that you have physically entered, anyone that you've had sex with, you will write them a letter. And you can just lump them all together. You can write a letter, dear Cindy, Sue, Sam, Ann, Joy, Elizabeth, yada, yada, yada. And then just start writing your letter. Because again, you want to put all the emotions, how they made you feel, which with all the relationship, good, bad, ugly. Put it all in writing. You might end up with you may end up with a 60-page letter. I don't know. But put them all in there. And it doesn't have to be super lengthy. Like, if you've got a key person from your past, or that you're helping them get to your past at this time, you'll do them an individual letter. But with everyone else, you can just lump them together. You can be like, Cindy, I used you, and you used me. You'd be like, random woman at the bar that I met that night. I don't remember your name, but we had a fun time that night. That was great. I like that little thing you did. And then you can just keep whatever you need to say. Just write it all. But then you're going to close it the same way you did your first letter. I want to thank all of you for the gifts you gave me to make me into the magnificent man I am. I love all of you, and I apologize to each of you for not accepting you exactly as you were in your decisions in our relationship. I release each and every one of you. Sign your name, read it out loud, rip it, burn it, dump the ashes. And then for some of you, what they're saying is there is some forgiveness letters if you have not done them yet. Actually, for all of you, you haven't done the forgiveness letters for your parents yet. You'll want to do them for your parents as well. Now, the night of the full moon is a great time to do this because we release stuff with a full moon. When we want to manifest things, we do it with a new moon. So Sunday evening, the 29th, or Monday, the 30th, the energies are very powerful for 24, 48 hours afterwards. Do these letters. You will feel amazing. And then you'll also feel suddenly like, I'm not mad anymore. I'm not angry anymore. I don't really care about her or him anymore. Wow. It just like shifted. Because these are very powerful letters. But most of you also need to write one to your mother, one to your father. You are going to, in their individual letters, you're going to write down all your feelings and emotions, things that you remember that were positive in your relationships with them, things you liked, things you didn't like in the relationship with them. Then you're also going to write about things you liked and didn't like with their relationships with each other, And then if they were divorced or had other partners, things that you felt about the relationships with others. So say, for example, you're writing your mom. Write the good, bad, ugly, different, everything. Get all of your emotions out on that letter, because you'll not have it bottled up. You've got to release it. And then write, Mom, your relationship with Dad made me feel like this, yada, yada, yada. So say, maybe your mom stepped out in the relationship. You can put how that made you feel. Or maybe they had an amazing relationship. It really looked up to your relationship. If your parents were divorced or stepped out, then you put, how her relationship with other men made you feel. And then at the end, you're going to close it a little bit differently. And you're going to have the same type letter, one for Mom, one for Dad. And at the end of each of their letters, I want to thank you for the gifts you have given me to make me into the magnificent man I am. I love you, and I apologize for not always accepting you exactly how you are. Period. You'll sign your name. Same thing. Read it out loud, rip it, burn it, and dump the ashes. So that's going to help you clear. And you want me to read this prayer, Miss Lexi? You're almost done. Okay. Archangel Michael, I call upon you now. Please use your divine healing magnet to lift any energies of fear, anger, or jealousy from my back, neck, and shoulders. Please help me feel compassion for those who may have sent lower energies my way so that they may be healed by divine love. Thank you for clearing away toxic, fear-based energies and entities from within and around me. So when you start to feel pains and things in your body, it's because you have cords and things attached. You can always ask Archangel Michael to cut the cords. Now, significance with these letters is a number of you have these attachments from these past lovers, relationships. They're saying some of you are even in a relationship you want to end. When you write the letters, it's going to help you end that relationship, but it's also going to cut all these cords and ties. So, and some of you, you're picking up other people's negativity. So say you had a relationship end, and maybe it's this toxic one where you felt like you were chained to the devil. And she's got this cord attached to you, and she's really spewing a whole lot of hatred and anger, and you're picking up on that. As soon as you cut those cords, do those letters, that's going to break you free of them so you can move forward. And the last thing, they are encouraging you to spend some time in meditation. They're saying some of you don't do it because you just think that there's no time. It doesn't require a lot of time. You only need to spend 5 or 10 minutes. That's it. You spend more time than that showering in the morning. Doesn't take that much at all. Now, what they're saying is for some of you, because you are going through this state of being very critical of yourself, they're saying for some of you, you're like perfectionists. So you see how like these arms are back and forth, like, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. So I'm just not going to do it. There's not a set way to meditate. There's not. And they're saying for most of you, you're not going to do some ceremonial meditation anyhow. All you need to do, so if you've got a, process at night. So say at night, you finish brushing your teeth, washing your face, and you pray. That's what I do. I pray. That's me talking to God. I talk to God. I thank Him for all the amazing stuff throughout the day. I ask Him about anything that I need help with. I ask for His protection. I ask for things for loved ones, family members, whatever. That's me talking to Him. Him, her. But then, when I'm done praying, I'm done talking to God. And then I quiet and I let God talk to me. So, do that. Now my stomach's growling. So, do that. And for a number of you, keep doing it a few days in a row, because since you're so worried about, I'm not doing it right, I'm not hearing anything, I'm not getting messages, I'm doing it wrong, they're showing me like, I'm doing it wrong, you just keep messing this up. You're not messing it up. You need to get out of your head, you need to quiet your mind. You are going to have to try it, some of you 4 to 8 days. So every night, make it a routine. Every night right before you go to bed, you talk to God, share everything with God. Make sure you're putting gratitude in there. You've got to put gratitude. It's going to help with the shift for you. But that's you talk to God. And then afterwards, just have a pen handy and then just ask, God, many of you, Archangel Michael, Jesus, God's angels. When you ask for God's angels, make sure you're asking for God's angels of the highest vibration who are watching over your highest good, because you need to set the ground rules boundaries. If you don't set the ground rules, you're going to have any Yahoo spiritual being come in. They could be of extremely low vibration coming in with information for you. You don't want that. So you need to set the ground rules of, okay, God, Jesus, Archangel Michael, and God's angels of light, love, in the highest vibration who are watching over my highest good. What do you want me to know today? What do I need to know today? Start off with one question. You can either ask, what do you want me to know today, or what do I need to know today? And then just quiet your mind. And it's going to take you a few days. Like they were saying, it's going to take 4 to 8 days until you finally start to get some information, because a lot of you are going to be like, oh my gosh, my ears are ringing. Oh, was that a light? Is that a car outside? Oh my gosh, why is the dog up here? Why did the dog bark? You got to quiet your mind. So just don't give up. But what you're going to find somewhere between day 4 and day 8, you're going to get some information. Some of you may hear a couple words. And for those of you that are clairaudience, you will find that when they speak to you and they start initially speaking to you, they're going to call you a name, or they're going to say a word that you have never heard. That's clarification for you that that is them speaking, that is not you speaking. When you have to Google a word to figure out what that term means, that's them. But that's them letting you know that, hey, this isn't you. You're not making this up in your mind. Others of you, you are going to get images. Some of you just may have a feeling like, oh my gosh, suddenly my stomach really hurt, or I felt this sharp burn in my knee. But whatever it is that you get, because we have different psychic senses, just like we have different physical senses, whatever you get, just write it down. Don't try to interpret it as writing down. Don't try to evaluate, just write it down. And then when you're getting the messages, do that for a couple weeks, and then just look back at it, and you will see consistent messages, and you'll be like, oh, that's what they're telling me to do. Oh, okay, I'll do that. But they're needing you to meditate. They're trying to talk to you. They're trying to help you. So help them help you. Okay, this has gone on for too long. So let's pull your angel answer cards. Okay, so for those of you that are not quitters that have messages in, situation 1, again with everybody, having a beautiful outcome. Go ahead, if you are situation 1, think of a question, maybe something that you are still wanting to know that maybe wasn't answered during the reading. And same for situation 2, and we will flip them over. Okay, situation 1, reconsider. Now, they were saying for some of you, you're just so tired of it, you want to give up. Why would you give up just before you're about to have some success? Again, that's to do with that legal money thing that you're dealing with. But there could be a couple of you that asked a different type of question, they're saying, but for majority, they're saying because you started to have some panic attack. Remember, your main situation was not about love. Your main situation is about this chapter you're closing first. So, reconsider. There's an element of your plan that should be reevaluated. Take some time to really go through your project or proposal thoroughly. Share your intentions with a trusted friend or advisor who can give you objective feedback. Ask your angels for guidance. This is not the moment to make the change in your life that you're considering. A better time will come, or you'll realize that you wish to choose a different kind of transformation for yourself. Okay, situation 2. Look at that. You will be glad that you did these few things that they're guiding you to do. Big happy changes. Big positive changes are coming into your life. You may find yourself on a new career path, entering a new relationship, or moving to a new home or city. Embrace these exciting events, knowing that your angels will be beside you all the way. What you are asking about may require you to take leaps of faith that seem frightening or beyond your ability. Trust that the opportunities before you are meant to bring you happiness. These options would not have presented themselves unless you were ready for them. Release your fears and follow your heart. So hopefully that helps everyone. I do wish you an amazing week full with a lot of love, joy, and blessings.